welcome back. We talked last week, right?
Yeah, we did.
We did.
You're
It's
traveling
been
so much you don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on. I was in London 2 weeks ago. I was in San Francisco. I got back last night.
Yeah.
And I will be in San Francisco every other week through the rest of the year. Or not through the rest of the year. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, that might be a little overwhelming.
Yeah, through May.
Through May.
And
okay.
Yeah, we got a guest joining. Let me add Dre.
Awesome.
Dre,
Hello.
can you hear us? Hey, welcome.
Man.
Hey,
Can
Dre,
you hear
how
me
you doing?
fine?
Dre, John, Dre.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, John.
Cool. Yeah, we just got started. Nick was talking about all his traveling that he's had to do, so you haven't missed anything.
He does quite a bit of it.
Yeah, just got back from San Francisco last night, and I go back in a week. So yay!
Nice.
Yeah.
So what special came out of your trip to San Francisco, Nick?
I'll get to that, but I want to give Dre a minute to introduce himself.
Oh, okay. Hi, I've been in software development, senior software developer right now. I've been in software development for 10, 11-ish years now. For the last 7-ish of that, I guess, been like Railsy, and some consulting there, some product work, and then about to switch shops actually and go to a all JavaScript stack, all Node and GraphQL stuff. So that'll be a new adventure. But yeah, that's me.
One of us.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, I've avoided it for a while, but now it's time to see if the hype is justified.
I'd say it is, but also it doesn't matter. We're not good anymore.
Yeah. It's that's the other part of it is the language doesn't really matter that much anymore.
I will say going to a typed language, the LLM likes types.
Yes. Yeah. That part about it matters more. One of me and Nick's mutual friends were actually talking on Wednesday about that and how some potential directions that might go in the next 5-10 years.
Yeah.
Since it doesn't really matter what syntax or code you're using anymore, I'm curious if it'll like boil down into fewer concrete languages that are actually being used over time.
One very concrete language, I think. I think I can confidently say it will boil down to, and that is a language called English.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you think it'll just convert English to machine code, like to zeros and ones, or what do you think will happen there?
Yeah, I think we're there. I mean, for me, I'm there.
Yeah, I don't think it'll ever be as direct as that, but but yeah, for sure. It's.
I disagree.
Well, that's what we do on here. Is we disagree.
Do you think it'll go through a couple of steps, or do you think we'll just have, will it go to C, which goes to assembly, blah blah blah? Will it go through that whole process, and that's what the AI will spit out as we tell it what to do, or will it just be like, okay, yeah, I know how to do that in whatever code we're doing? Sorry, I know how to write that via the instruction set for whatever chipset we're working on. I can just go do that.
Mm-hmm.
You think it'll be that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it doesn't matter. I think I don't have to care about it. Just in the same way that I can use a language, like a higher level language, that writes really crappy lower level languages. Like it doesn't do it well. And do I care?
Yeah.
No, not really. Right. Like I might choose a different language based on the performance needs that I have. And now I can just say what I want, and the model can choose the language based on that.
Yeah.
So it's just another abstraction.
I think, I mean, maybe years from now when all models you're running them locally or something, maybe what Nick's saying I would agree with, but until that point, you would be wasting so many tokens trying to transfer English and get it down to almost bare metal language.
Yeah.
I can't even think of the name of what it's called anymore.
Assembly.
There we go. Geez. Yeah, we're because So so it's always going to depend on that abstraction layer of tooling on, where it's like, well, you told me this, I'm going to write it in whatever said language, and it will compile it down to the assembly required to then,
Right.
put it into memory and run it. So
Ever since this, like, using models like this to write code has come out, like, I've always kind of assumed or thought that um that like WebAssembly would be a perfect medium for this. Like, you talk and it doesn't matter what it writes it in. It just saves WASM bytecode. And then when I want to interact with it, give it to me in whatever language it can compile to WASM bytecode, and it doesn't matter.
yeah, maybe. I mean, again, it comes down to, we've mentioned this before, and like most of the time when Claude Code is doing something for me that's adjacent to the outcome of what I want, it's running a Python script, even though I may not even be running a Python project, right? So some of that could be, well, models. There's so much Python code in the world that's what the model's trained on. And it knows it best, or maybe it just assumes and knows that Python's one of the languages that will always be on the machine, and I can just always use that as the tooling to run whatever command it is it needs to run outside of doing simple, Unix-based commands, etc. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but in line with what we're discussing, so GPT 5.5 came out, and one of the things it talks about is that it can infer better when prompts are vague. So I don't use Codex or GPT 5.5, so I can't tell you if that's true or not. But that will definitely be something that, along the lines of what we're discussing here, is that whatever it is, it's going to have to get a lot smarter, because it is absolutely I tell you what to do, and if I didn't tell you what it is I wanted you to do, you're not going to do it. It's getting a little better. It can infer from previous memories and looking at project level details to say, I'm going to assume this is what you wanted, but I still, it's gotten better, but just yesterday, it was just like, what are you doing? Like, why do I have to give you this much detail? Like,
I had that 10 minutes ago.
Literally telling you to use something that exists, and you're not doing it. Why? So yeah, it's funny how it can get off the rails sometimes.
Sounds like a skills issue, bruh.
Totally.
I mean, like, literally skills. Like, you should use a planning skill to.
Well, no, it was literally, hey, this thing exists already in this application. I want to make a read-only version of it. Use the exact same pop-up dialogue code you are using, and make a read-only version of it. And it was whatever it came up was totally broken. I'm like, why are you broken? Like, why are you not doing this? After like 3 or 4 tries, it was like, oh, you want me to just reuse this and make it up? Yeah. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Nick, related to the skills thing, and actually also related to John's comment about forgetting or having to do guesswork. I was screwing around with Pi yesterday and built a MemPalace extension for it, because I think it was Nick that shared that Mia Jovovich from like Fifth Element and Resident Evil movies made MemPalace, is like a opinionated RAG type solution. And so I wanted to see what it was like to work with it. And I wanted to use Pi because it's pretty bare bones, and it didn't have it. So I, over the last couple of days, have messed around with it and got that figured out. And that was pretty cool. But I got it. So MemPalace works just fine on its own, but there's no way to like have it mine the conversations that you've had within Pi, because it's a tree. And so it built out this like auto mining MCP like tool thing, so that it'll auto mine your conversations using like this recursive tree tracing to see what the like full active branch of that tree was. It was pretty neat. But yeah, to fiddle around with that. That's like my first actual endeavor into trying to build AI tools.
That's cool.
Up until this point, I've just used AI to try and build software. I haven't tried to build anything AI powered. So
I did not dig into the MemPalace thing. I remember seeing it, and I glanced at it, and I could not apply it to anything in my current needs,
Yeah.
so I didn't pay that much attention to it. But I need to go back and take a look at it.
I think
Yeah.
another one that's really good to or worthwhile to look at is Karpathy's I forgot what it's called. His memory thing.
Yeah.
Memory something. I'll find it.
I think the guy that I'm terrible at remembering names. The engineer that created Pi, I'm pretty sure he name dropped exactly what you're talking about during a talk I was watching of his like 2 or 3 days ago.
Mm-hmm. Mario is his name. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. From Pi. I mean.
Oh, so sorry. The connection I was trying to draw there with like the guesswork part that John was talking about was that part of the Mem Palace integration, I think on its own, and then the one that I built just kind of took that philosophy, is one of the lines that it injects into the context or the system prompt is to, before guessing at anything, do a Mem Palace search to see if there's something that would give you that information or that decision to infer whatever you need to based off of that before you go do some kind of web search or find out what conventions are and then guess stuff like that. So that's why I wanted it, was that if you're mining your previous conversations with Mem Palace, that includes design decisions that you made in previous sessions. So I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah, that was the thing that that I was interested in, was more of the project management piece. And the thing is, when I remember why I probably moved on from it just pretty quickly, was because I was looking at it, I was like, I think the biggest gap I have in using a tool like that is I probably never write down those decisions in the first place. So then there's no memory for it to go. It's like you
to go mine.
The first step is like actually the capturing of, this is the decision I made, and write it in there. And honestly, this is one thing. So one thing that I have benefited from a ton, outside of the fact that tools like Cloud Code, et cetera, allow me to just work on things I never probably would have worked on in the first place, because I just like, this doesn't mean that much to me. I'm not going to go do it. But now it's like, oh, I'll just chat with you for a few minutes and see what it comes up with. Is I will try and end each session with a, hey, I need you to capture the things we decided here and any key elements in here, and make sure those are stored in some kind of memory, maybe the Claude.md, whatever. So that way now I can actually go back and, why did we do this? And there may be at least some inkling of, this is why we did it, right? And in some cases, I've been playing around with, I love Obsidian. I haven't used Obsidian as directly as I used to, where I was probably doing more, gardening and capturing into it. But now I have a bunch of skills that I've been building up through Cloud Code, where I have essentially a project sitting on top of an Obsidian vault and a bunch of skills that are being built up in it, to where it will go capture these, and that's more of a long-term memory. So it may not be a memory built in the Claude, but I can tell it, hey, this vault over here has things that I've worked on, and you have skills built in to know how to go and what's what in here. Let's go have a conversation about this. So I think that's pretty cool as well.
Nice.
Yeah, I just built a skill yesterday that like, as I'm doing things with Claude, and like, I'm working on a focused task that I want to do, but oftentimes things come up just constantly, like, oh, we should do this too. It's kind of out of scope for what we're doing here, but like, I'm here now and I have all this memory and like this conversation built up that got me here, right? So there's context that's valuable here. And so I made a new skill called Side Quest, and it will take the conversation up to that point, summarize it, but also have like a link back to it. And it'll like let me give it a task. Like, this is, I want to take it here, so we're going to go do this. And then it has how we got to that, plus a link to the full conversation, etc. And right now it stores that as a markdown file and throws it into my Obsidian vault. All of my auto-generated stuff or AI-generated stuff in my Obsidian vault, those folders start with a bang, so it puts it in one called Side Quests, Bang Side Quests. and then it names it like the date plus the repo that I'm in plus a slug of whatever task I want to do, and then it puts it in my to-do list. And that's as far as I got with it yesterday. All of that works pretty great. It's using OmniFocus's MCP or a MCP server for OmniFocus to throw it in there.
Yep.
But today I was just messing with it, and this kind of leads into something that I wanted to bring up. Is I started playing with Devin. Have you heard of Devin?
This is the one that really kind of came out in the beginning, where it was like the robot. I will do all the coding for you, but it was like smoke and mirrors at that point.
It sucked a year ago. Honestly, it flat out sucked. We have it again, and I tried it for the first time 2 days ago. It's freaking sweet. It works so well. And so I set up a Devin MCP in Claude so that I can now take those side quests and just give it to Devin. And the amazing thing about that is it's going to take that and run with it, and it's going to do it all on like Devin machines somewhere out in the cloud.
Yeah.
And then it's going to like work on it. And you can literally go to like devin.ai and look at the session. You can see the browser if it's like using a browser. You can see the terminal if it's using a terminal. Like you can see what Devin is doing. You can see all the commands it's running, but it requires no input from you. Yeah, and now here's the beautiful thing. We are currently like playing with 2 code review bots. We have CodeRabbit and Greptile. And I think we're going to vote one off the island, like after we all come to a consensus on which one is better. But right now on the PR, like Devin will go open the PR. Both of them swoop in and do thorough code reviews, and they'll comment about things. And Devin will argue with them automatically. It'll go back and forth with them.
Bye-bye.
I'm back. Oh. I don't know what happened.
Devin kicked you out.
It'll be like, oh, you're back. Here's, I found this, and Devin's like, yeah, I agree with that, or no, I don't agree with that. I think you're wrong in this case, and they'll argue with each other, and then Devin will do the work, and I don't have to come back until they are satisfied with the state of the code, and Devin has fixed everything that they've done, and then I can swoop in there. And so this, like, I set up Devin as an MCP so that I could take those side quests and immediately just hand them over to Devin and have it go do it, and I'll continue with whatever I'm working on, and by the time I'm done, Devin probably is done with the side quests as well. And that's sweet. I'm like really excited about this right now.
So that's cool. I like the arguing part.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to find, that's the piece I'm interested in. What's driving that? Like, I assume that it's not Devin truly arguing with it. It's whatever LLM you have underneath it.
Yeah.
And do you just hook it up? Do you give it multiple API keys to different models, or do you hook it up to a specific model? Or how does that structure work?
I've only played with it for like a day, 2 days. And I've only so far kicked off tasks from Devin, like their website.
Yeah.
And it's just like in our org or whatever. So I can just be like, in this project, go do this. This is what I want you to do. And it just goes and does it. And like when I set that up, I can say you're using Opus 4.7 or GPT 5.5 or whatever. Yeah. And it will just go on with it.
So you haven't been triggering it like via an MCP call?
Not yet.
Claude yet.
Yeah, that's literally like just before this call, I got the MCP set up, and it, like, Claude says it's connected. So yeah, I was gonna have Claude do a simple task, but Claude just ended up, or send it a simple task, but Claude just ended up doing it. So then I'm just like, I'll just let it do it.
I know Cursor. So I've primarily used Cursor. I've played around with Claude Code a little bit, but my main tool has been Cursor for like the last year and a half. Cursor has cloud agents, and they have a CLI too, but that's beside the point. But they've got cloud agents. I know that can like spin up a virtualized environment, work on stuff, open a PR.
Yep.
I don't know if it has the discussion debating feature built in just yet, and maybe that's something they're working on. I don't know. I haven't experimented with them enough. But do you know like what the, I guess off the top of your head, what the difference or advantage would be to using Devin versus a Cursor cloud agent?
I think they're probably the same or similar. Okay. Claude also has like agents that you can run out in the cloud, and they have like a whole sandbox thing and everything that they're building.
Mhm.
So there's a number of these different tools. Devin's the one that we started playing with, and we actually had Scott Wu, like one of the founders of Devin, come speak at our company last week when I was in SF, and it was really awesome. Like hearing about it, and basically I was relieved that their bottlenecks are basically the same as ours. Like it's code review.
Yep.
Yeah.
The code's
That's
easy.
what I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how we move that bottleneck or change it. But yeah, it's really, really interesting. But speaking of Cursor, Dre, did you hear the news about Cursor this week?
No, I'm terrible at keeping up with news. You guys, every time I see Nick, he's got all sorts of new stuff and posts in a Discord about it. I'm like, oh, cool. I would have never heard about this.
Yeah. Cursor has paired up with SpaceX.
Okay.
The way I understand it is they basically have a deal where Cursor or SpaceX can acquire Cursor for $60 billion if they want to, but if they don't want to, if they decide it won't work out, then Cursor gets $10 billion. So win-win for Cursor.
It's a $10 billion partnership that locks Cursor into Colossus. So there's
what
definitely
is Colossus.
XAI's training cluster. So
okay.
I mean, it's essentially like a hardware compute play in the sense of, because that's the biggest thing that Cursor, like my understanding of Cursor is it's just tooling wrapped around everybody else's models, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
So this is to be clear, I would happily take $60 billion for building that, but like this is a way for them to get in bed with somebody who's got hardware that they can get access to.
Yeah.
I guess one caveat there is they do have their own internal models that they're working on in training. They have a couple of them.
Who?
But Cursor does.
Yeah.
Cursor has their
Composer
own
1 and
too.
Composer 2. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, like caveat there, I guess, that they have a wrapper around everyone else's tools and some of theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest takeout from here, like I was reminded when we were talking to Scott Wu, like from Devin, that like Devin bought Windsurf a couple last year, right? Or they acquired the remnants of Windsurf after Google. No, was it Google? Yeah, Google acquired like the leadership at Windsurf. And that was interesting to me because I thought that I remembered reading at the time that they were like, the rumor was that they were going to OpenAI. And then I thought that there was like a rumor that Cursor was approached with a similar deal to like be acquired by OpenAI maybe, or something like that, and turned it down, only to jump in with Elon Musk.
I still haven't played around with Cursor at all.
Me neither.
I've enjoyed it, but I think it boils down to it's probably doing about the same thing that I think everything is roughly doing the same thing. The only one that I've noticed being really even different slightly is that Pi is just more bare bonesy, and then you build whatever you want to add to it. But it feels like everything else is a TUI or a GUI that roughly does the same thing and may or may not have different modes.
Yeah,
I think we're kind of all collapsing to the same type of stuff.
You also Pi got acquired, right?
I didn't. Who acquired Pi?
I forgot. It's some company that's named after the Lord of the Rings thing.
No, it was it was we talked about this last week, and I cannot remember. It was a Lord of the Rings named thing.
So was it Palantir?
No,
not that one.
No, they specifically called out their Lord of the Rings.
That would have been crazy.
Evil.
Yeah. I was gonna say, to kind of a little bit of full circle on the Node stuff, part of the reason I've stayed out of JavaScript or been more hesitant to go towards like the JavaScript stuff is just because there's so much there and a lot of it feels samey, so it becomes kind of like impossible in my mind to dip into and decide which one of the many reactive libraries I want to go with.
Mhm.
Or whatever that might be. I feel like a similar thing is happening now with AI, and that's part of why I've had a hard time like keeping track of what I should dig into or like trying to play with all of the different tools. Is they feel like they're kind of all doing roughly the same thing, but there's a new one every 3 days, if not faster. So, yeah, I'm curious how both of you try to sift through it other than just trying to touch everything and see what you think.
For JavaScript specifically?
No, for AI stuff, for AI tools,
Oh, yeah.
approaches, stuff like that.
Yeah. I will say before I get into that JavaScript is pretty much quieted down. It's
Is
just
that
React.
that's good.
It's just React. And then there's some flavors of it. Unfortunately, Next is very popular, and I think that's
Mhm.
very disappointing. But it's just React. And nobody cares about code anymore. We just write. We use
Yes.
AI.
Yeah.
But yeah, my opinion on this is like you're gonna get further. You should do some experimentation, but you're gonna get further by learning the intricacies of a single tool
Yeah.
or a couple of tools, but like understanding how to kick off subagents and do it properly. And now like subagents, you can like share the parent's context with them, um, things like that. Like understanding those like deeper, more advanced usage and when to use them and how to use them, all of that. Like you're going to get so much further than someone who has 5 tools open and is copying and pasting messages between
Yeah.
them. At the same time, right now I am doing a heck of a lot of copying and pasting between Opus 4.7 and Codex 5.5. Codex 5.5 is real good.
Really?
Yeah. Or GPT 5.5, whatever.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
Codex. Codex, the tool sucks, but
Mm.
I'm probably the wrong person to answer this question because I don't. So I will read news, and every now and then there may be something that I will open up and give it a try. But I, once I get pretty comfortable in something, I'm a lot more focused on the outcome I can get rather than
Yeah.
the tooling I'm using.
Mhm.
So right now, Claude Code has addressed all the needs I have. There are definitely probably productivity hacks / automation things I would like to look at, because there are things to Nick's point that I would like to have things, the ability to go, I really don't want to sit here and babysit this, but I do want this work researched or done. So can I throw it at something and just let it go? So that would be cool, and that would be something I would dig into. But yeah, um, I will say, yeah. So unless the tool is falling behind and it's obvious that there are other options out there that are bringing newer things to the table that I would find beneficial to what I'm trying to accomplish, or the tools start sucking like Claude Code did over the last couple of weeks, um, then I would go look at something else. But
Yeah.
like, because I keep saying, oh, I haven't looked at Cursor, I haven't looked at Codex, and I just haven't
Mhm.
had enough. I might go look at. I want to go look at Codex mostly because I want to use some of the GPT models more. I've never done any coding on those. The only thing I've ever done on those was more of the just the Chat GPT based talking to it type of
Yeah.
stuff. And then I mean, there's some news out there that Google's trying to get a lot more serious about the coding aspect of Gemini. So they're supposed to be coming out with some tools later this year that may or may not be worth looking at. So
Mm.
I might try and pay a little bit of attention to that. But yes,
Yeah.
but so far Claude has made me happy, and honestly, it was so easy, in a company context to get Claude Code hooked up to Bedrock to just go, right? Until recently, and maybe still not so. I'm not 100% sure, but you couldn't use GPT-based models on AWS Bedrock, so that wasn't really an option. So that's part of it as well.
Good question on YouTube. Have you guys checked out Datastar? I have not.
I
I have no idea what Datastar is.
No.
It's a hypermedia framework.
Okay.
That is basically what I know. I haven't looked at it. No. I was
Hypermedia, meaning
build
what?
reactive web apps. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
It looks interesting, and I would want like in complete honesty, I wouldn't find this tool unless Claude found it for me.
Unless your
basically.
robot overlords told
Yeah.
you to go use it.
Yeah, I mean that's a whole thing, like agentic AEO, getting it in there. So like figuring out when to use this tool properly, but also like more and more these days, like I don't really care as long as it works. And
I mean,
more and
this is
faster.
definitely something I still think about, right? I think in most cases, I will always choose Elixir Phoenix for any of the side projects I have, because in most cases it's gonna solve the problem I need. There's a clear path to how it scales, etc. Right? So
Yeah.
I think about those things, but yeah, like in most cases, I think it's that same thing we've discussed in the past, Nick, which is, I'm slightly worried about all of the vibe coded apps that non-coders are going to create, but at the same time, who cares? Because 99.9% of those vibe coded apps will never need to scale, and they will only need to do the one little thing that person wants them to do, and
Yeah.
and that's all you need to worry about. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, the tools that you use are not that important, but I do still have a little voice in the back of my head that's like, hey, make sure that whatever you're doing doesn't suck if you don't have access to AI tools anymore, and you actually do have to maintain it. So there's
Yeah.
there's a little bit of that as well.
I saw this come by on Blue Sky maybe a couple days ago, and it's like an enhancement to JSX. And just looking at this looks more like what I would write in Flow at Meta, which I liked when I was there. Like this is a nice way to write components, a nice little syntax. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Also, I don't care because I don't write this anymore. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm just becoming jaded, but like I have sufficiently trained myself to just be excited about the outcome, and the minutia of the code is starting to fade for me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Not in a bad way. Like I still care about code quality to an extent. Claude Code leaked though, like the source code for that, and I guess we learned that you can make like $20 billion in a quarter with the shittiest code base.
I mean, that's always been true. I don't
Yeah.
like. I think a little bit of what you're also talking about, Nick, is just it's part of aging, and there will be things that you will slowly realize that don't matter
Oh,
anymore.
no.
So
Yeah.
I'm just becoming a curmudgeon.
yes.
No.
On the subject of caring less about code, I actually was curious to pick your brain about this. I watched a talk
Mhm.
a couple of days ago by Dexter Horthy,
Mhm.
The research plan implement thing,
Yeah.
and it's everything we got wrong about that. Him like kind of going through that, and they had originally said like don't review the code, review the specs, and now they're flipping it.
I
Like
did see that.
don't worry about the specs as much, but please do read the code actually. Like don't care about it at all. Well, it's like spend some time planning, do your research, do all that. Let it chug and do all its stuff, and then when it's done with the code, please review the code with a fine-tooth comb.
I do agree with that. Right now. Yeah. I think that in a similar way to how Devin sucked a year ago. Like the tools aren't there yet for that kind of workflow.
Yeah.
And you do have to review the code a lot because it does make a lot of mistakes.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I think that I don't disagree with that at all.
I'm
Cool.
interested. I'd like to dig into that. It makes mistakes. So when you say a mistake, what type of mistake are you talking about? Are you talking about a functional mistake, which in most cases you would find either via tests or you testing the application out, or
Yeah.
are you talking about idiomatic mistakes where it's like you're not doing it the way you should do it in this language or etc.
Mhm.
Or yeah, what are you talking about there?
The biggest thing to me, the biggest one that I catch with that is like like misalignment on what we want to do. It's not that there's syntax errors. That's all caught
Yep.
by automated tools and
That or
like
compile
AI code
steps.
reviews.
Yep.
Yeah, that just all finds a way to be fixed before I care about it, which is great. It's more like I could give it the best plan in the world, and I can review that plan, like to Dexter's point. But somewhere in there, there's probably some assumption that the LLM made,
Yep.
and it ran with that. And that could have cascading effects, or it could just be like a little subtle thing. And that could totally derail the app. And I wouldn't catch it just by looking at the specs. I
Yep.
would have to be searching through the code
Mhm.
to find that. And so it's that alignment. Like, is it aligned with what I said? And was what I said actually clear enough?
Yep.
That's something that we're I can't get
Which
right.
I mean that leans more towards the you should review your specs as well as a little bit, right? It depends on the size of the problem, but
Yeah.
the day to day, like it's just going to be so hard to do.
I think there's
Mhm.
trade-offs too, quite a bit. Like,
Yeah.
depends on the complexity of the app.
Yeah.
It depends on, I think that you can start more greenfield things and get going very quickly. And if it gets idiomatic things wrong about, it's not using like React correctly or whatever, it's using use effect, right? Like that is so easy to refactor out with another prompt later on.
Oh yeah, but I would argue that the use effect idiom is actually a performance based
Mhm.
problem, right? Like so, yeah, I would throw that into it being wrong from a performance standpoint. But
Mhm.
you're right, like that makes total sense. The way I've been approaching it, and um, outside of my professional usage of it, right, where that is a much stricter environment.
Mhm.
On my side projects that need a little bit more rigor, but not the level that I would say professional environment does. I don't I do not review the code every time I do a code review, right? Nick's part of this process because he has access to Copilot. I don't, so I'm like, hey Nick, there's a PR. Go make Copilot look at it, right? Um, so I go through that process. What I do, what I've gotten in the habit of doing now is, and I'm gonna put another plug in for Tidewave because they added a feature that has been really helpful over the last week and a half. So now within Tideway, they have a code review view, and it's literally here's all the code, here's all of the changes that have happened right in this session, so you can go in and review them, that way. So I will do that. The other thing I do in each session is I will pay attention to what changes it's making. Generally, the thing I'm working on has gotten to a point now where the changes I'm asking it to make are not extremely broad. Like it's literally like either fix this feature or add this feature. And I
Mhm.
know in my head you should be touching maybe 2 places in the code. And when it comes back and it goes, "Oh, I just updated the 5 places that this needed to be fixed," I'll be like, "Hold on, nope. Why are there 5 places? Let's fix this now." So that's another way that while I'm not
Yeah.
doing code reviews, I will try and do some code hygiene management that way, right? Where I'm like, you are clearly duplicating things and this should not be duplicated. And in some cases we've had conversations like you're of course it always, although I've gotten it to not say this, you're absolutely right. In some cases it's like, no, this is duplicated because of these concerns, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, no, that makes sense. Or
Mhm.
you don't need to duplicate it that way. you can abstract this out into a thing, and then you're duplicating the usage and or overriding the usage. So
Yeah.
so that's another way that I've at least done it. And then the other thing is I will spend some time where I'm not adding features and I'm not trying to fix something, but I'm having a conversation with it to be like, hey, I want to have a session where we go and look for duplicated code. I want you to spin up five different, I think the last prompt I did was like, you're a principal engineer and you have a team of five, elite, I don't know what language I use, but you said you have 5 people who you're going to go find unused code, duplicated code, etc., and just have those sessions where you're kind of doing code hygiene, right?
Mhm.
Instead of me spending the time. And then there were a couple of times during that point where I went in and I actually looked at the code so I could have maybe a bit more direct conversation with it, where it's like, there's duplication here, or there's a pattern here that makes no sense. You've explained to me why it's there. I can't fully grok your explanation. I looked at the code and now I can go tell you this module doesn't need to be used. You're literally like, it's all in the
Mhm.
database now. Like, get rid of it, right?
Mhm.
And so I think those sessions are more beneficial at this point. And like I this is a problem that every company is going to have. It's a problem that my company is currently going through. You have code bases predominantly written by humans in the past. You have AI agents now working on that code, and you have software engineers whose belief is that their worth and what we're paying them for is to write this really good code. And it's like, no, that's part of it. That's a very small part of it, and they still believe that I have to look at every line of code and make sure it maps to every way we do things. And that's not completely true either. I do want them to look at the code because we don't want to ship in something improperly, but there's got to be this meeting in the middle, right? So that's going to be an interesting thing that I think happens over the next, several months and a year. And,
Mhm.
and you have extreme views. If you look at the builders of Claude Code, it's like, yeah, you don't do them. You don't do code reviews. A human doesn't do
Mhm.
it. The bots write the code, the bots review it. You just make sure that you're giving them very clear instructions. So yeah, I think this will be a very interesting way of things, migrating over the next several months.
Yeah. And it seems like there's like a rise of models, very tiny models that will do like help you, like adjust things on your behalf,
Hmm.
or guide you in very small, very pointed ways, which I think is awesome. Auto mode in Claude Code, for example, is one of those. If you have auto mode enabled, it won't ask you for permissions on things because there's another model that is doing that for it.
Yeah.
And if it thinks anything is dangerous, it's going to flag it to you.
And
But
if it's broken, it won't. It'll act like it'll think it's
yeah,
asking you questions, and it
yeah.
won't do anything.
I think OpenAI also
Hmm.
released a very small open source model that is just focused around security, and it's so small that it can run in a browser. Like,
Oh
it's
wow.
tiny.
Yeah.
Hmm. So is
Yeah.
that auto mode for Claude Code? How is that? Cursor has an auto mode too, but I think that's just choosing what model
Mhm.
based on your prompt. This sounds different.
It is. It's a bit different. Yes. I can just show you.
I can essentially, it's what commands am I allowed to do without you giving me permission to do it.
Yeah.
Before, before they had well, you can do everything, or you need to ask me and I'll
Yes.
approve certain things, and some things it wouldn't even let you approve to do in the future. It'd be like, do it. Yeah. So Auto
Okay.
tries to figure out, should I automatically be able to do this because you've given me permissions, or should I add, or is this dangerous enough beyond what it used to be that I should ask you if I can run it or not?
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's like right now, if I asked it to do like something, it's going to ask me for permission, right? If I said commit this, whatever, it asks me for permission. So to get around that, let me go into an actual project. To get around that, what I would normally do is just like I set up a CC bang, which is Claude -- dangerously allow
Mhm.
permissions. So now bypass permissions is on, and that works. It still asks me for get things, which is super annoying. that I would even think that. But now you can do Claude -- enable auto mode. And now it will allow me, and now I can shift tab over to enable it and then make it my default mode. And now when I come back into Claude, auto mode will just be enabled. And I can ask it questions from here, and it will now just handle that for me on my own. I walked through this because I thought I was running with auto mode on, and I'm like, this sucks. It's not doing anything. You have to do these stupid steps to get
You
it
got
to
to do
actually
the
turn on.
special commands to get it to actually to do anything. Hey, Nick, did you see there's another thing that they, and I don't know, I think maybe this is the in between dangerous and auto, but there's this fewer permissions prompts command that you can run. Have you seen that?
No, I didn't.
I think it may be trying to do what auto does in real time, but it just does it up front and tries to write out a permissions file or something. I briefly looked at it before we got on this call, but yeah, no, if you do like a / fewer dash permissions dash prompts, it kind of goes through and and it seems to be project based. So it's like, yeah, you do this a lot in this project. So, and you keep telling me yes. So I think I'll just go ahead and mark this as I can do it going forward.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. No, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have it set up. I just did this on my other machine, so I was trying to copy it over very quickly. But
You're
you can
on the old version too.
Oh, that's what it is, John. You're right.
Cloud
Yeah.
update.
It's failed. Cool. You can tell I use Claude a lot on this machine.
You're using you're probably doing what I was doing earlier, where you had like 4 different versions of Claude, and you had the NPM version, the Brew version.
Yeah.
But I think 119 is the latest.
It is, yeah. But you can do in 119 or 118 and later, you can create custom themes for it. Finally, you can get rid of this horribly ugly orange and make it better. I was going to show off my theme.
So you can like get down to the details of customizing the theme.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. The important things. They're finally getting around to the important things now.
Finally, right?
Yeah.
We've made it.
Do we have background music yet?
Ooh.
That could be
totally
obnoxious. I was going to say we could totally do it and it'd be obnoxious.
Yeah. No, with hooks, you can totally do that. Just have it play like the what is it, the baby elephant dance every time it starts a task.
Baby elephant dance. I've not heard this, but okay.
Go look it up. We'll get demonetized on YouTube.
Yeah, we don't need to do that
for all of our monetization.
So I'll probably have to drop here in a couple of minutes, but I did want to have one kind of final, or at least one topic that I wanted to talk about was this idea of token maxing. I know it's not a completely new one, but it seems to be popping up in the news more. Nick, is this something at your company? Are you guys token maxing?
No, I mean not in the sense of like what Meta's doing, but you should be doing a lot more. You should be able to do a lot more work in the same amount of time, and tokens don't like we're not going to be bogged down by you running out of your token.
Yeah.
Like we have, you can set it up. I think I'm not an admin on Claude, but you can set it up to where like if you run out of your 5-hour window or your 7-day window, it can switch over to token-based billing. For so much per developer. And that has been enough that I never run into issues except for when Claude's down. But yeah, that's.
I guess I was specifically talking from is this a metric that teams are judged on?
I don't think not
is
directly.
it being treated as the new you're not writing enough
velocity
code, so you're not doing work?
No, not directly, at least. Like I think people look at it. I look at it. I want to know how much money I'm spending.
Yeah.
Things like that. But I don't think that it's like you didn't hit a quota of 48 million tokens this month or this day.
Right.
I I think I had a goal
Do you
for a
think
while,
it's
a personal goal that I wanted to get to 300 million tokens a day, and I think I'm there.
Jesus? That's a lot.
If you're not paying for it, then it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like that's just me. Like it's not me focused specifically on tokens. It's me focused on how much work can I parallelize and still keep it up.
Yeah.
I think right now I have I think I checked 17 Claude Code sessions running simultaneously right now on my computer, and I'm just like bouncing between them all.
And 2 of those are what he should eat for lunch. Should have
No.
cheese pizza or chicken nuggets.
No, one of them is let's make a cool Claude Code theme. I mean, let's be honest. But like all of the other ones are like, let's work on this issue. Let's work on this. Yeah, like all of that. And like as those are running, I'm off doing other things, which is why I'm so excited about things like Devin, because I don't want to babysit anymore. I want to come in at the end and know like that things are to a certain level of quality before it bothers me with crap. Yeah. And sometimes I have to do a lot of, like right now I'm doing a lot of planning, which is why I'm like really excited about that side quest thing, because I can do all that planning and then just delegate. Boom, 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 boom.
Right.
And I'll come back to an army of Devins that have all handled things for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I can watch them. I can go on a walk and watch them. Amazing.
Yeah, I do love the remote control from Claude.
Mm-hmm.
I've used that a lot now.
So you're pushing for a high number of tokens, not as this is what everyone should be doing, but to kind of as a proof of concept of how much you can parallelize stuff. It feels like you would also not necessarily recommend that everyone else is token maxing and trying to just use AI tools as much as possible. Still use it for improving productivity, but I'm curious, like, do you think everyone should try to token max on whatever their plan or usage is? Or
I think people should push to the limit. Get what you pay for right now, because tokens are subsidized, and so like people will talk about that, like, oh, I'm paying $200 a month for this. I think like I saw somewhere that like the $200 plan from Claude is equivalent to like $5,000 of tokens or something like that per month. And so anytime your Claude is not getting to its window, you have left tokens on the table that you will get back. Yeah, and I can see that, like if you're trying to optimize, and you could do like a ton of planning and stuff, and then like space it out to be within the 5-hour windows. Like, well, that seems ridiculous to me. But also, I can see why you would do that, because you're going to get more done and probably do it in an automated way, and then come back and review and things on your own afterwards.
Yeah, as a person in a leadership role, the way I look at it is, I was never a fan of counting lines of code, so I'm not going to be a fan of making sure that you're blasting through tokens, etc. Right? I do think it is a metric that companies should be looking at currently, because you have a very wide range of personalities and people on how they feel about using AI, right?
Yeah.
You have some people who are like, it's the devil, I'm not going to touch it. And then you have people who are like I said, they're trying to figure out what they're going to have for lunch via AI, right? And as a company, I think most companies should be figuring out, how does AI make sense in our company, and how can we use it to get rid of the work that we don't want to do, right? And so this is a metric that you can see, okay, maybe I should go talk to so and so and figure out what anxiety they have around this tooling. Do they just not, while they may not have interest, that's one thing, but you need to have a discussion with them that you probably should have some interest in this and start figuring it out, and et cetera. So I would use it that way. I would not use it as a leaderboard, and this is who obviously is kicking ass, and et cetera, right? I think it's more important what you're using the tokens on, and right now that everyone's engaged in at least trying to figure out how this fits in the roles that they have.
I agree. Yeah, like using it as a metric to see who is investing in these tools right now and who's not.
Yeah,
I do think that not investing in these tools is a major liability to your career at this point.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. On this topic, and we can end it after this ambiguous question. Do you think that that our friends at Cursor have to print out their tokens every week and deliver them to Elon to get approval?
Just an email. They just have to send an email.
I don't know. That's what Twitter had to do, right?
Did they?
Yes.
There was a
They had
point
to print out the
where,
code
yeah,
that
it
they
was-
worked on, so that Elon, the star coder, could go.
Yeah, there was a lot of asinine things that were
Okay.
going on in the beginning that made zero sense. And I wonder how. Yeah, it's just that's such a high level of mismanagement that I feel like it was just level of trolling. It was
Yeah.
like honestly, to me, what it was
Don't give him
I
that much
need a
credit.
lot of you to quit, so I'm going to do the most
Oh,
ridiculous things that I can
yeah.
do to have you quit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what happened is he ended up with the group of people that he ended up with, which are I am not in any I am in a situation where I can't quit, right? Because of either my visa status, etc. So I'm going to jump through the hoops that you want. And that's just that's my guess. I mean, yeah, that I would
That's
have to
wild.
say if that's not what was going on, then the level of incompetency was even greater than I imagined.
I can see both. I can see both
Yeah.
ways.
That's kind of what I'm thinking as well.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Oof.
Dre, thank you so much for joining us this
Yeah,
week.
dude, it was nice meeting you.
Yeah. We'll have to have you
Likewise,
back
thanks
on
for
again.
inviting me. All
Yeah.
right, I'm down. Yeah.
Cool. See you guys.
Later.
Later.